Alto Goldfield works hard at the Artesia Academy of Magic to become a strong sorcerer, but he can't become one because he fails his summoning class despite getting good grades and working hard at school. Alto is afraid of repeating a year, so he tries to follow an old, worn-out grimoire in a last-ditch effort to solve his problem. To his surprise, he can bring Vermeil, a strong demon, to him. Vermeil agrees to be Alto's familiar as a way of saying thanks for letting her go. They seal their deal with a deep kiss. Alto has yet to learn what else he can do or what secrets Vermeil's past holds. At school, Vermeil likes eating modern food for the first time. Then the Dragon Riders come by, and everyone admires member Chris. After PE, Cheryl tells Lilia that she should tell Alto how she feels about him, while Lilia wonders if Vermeil is human, given how powerful she is. When Vermeil follows Alto into the boys' locker room, he causes a scene. Later, Vermeil gets into Alto's shower and tries again to woo him. Chris beats up Rex and kicks him out of the Dragon Riders for losing to Alto, and for having a lizard for a familiar instead of a dragon. Alto gets mad and challenges Chris to a fight when he finds out what happened. She says yes, and then she calls her dragon. Alto's mana gets a boost from Vermeil, but Chris's fire spells are strong enough to break Alto's crystal structures and hurt Vermeil when she tries to stop them. Chris flies up onto the sky on her dragon's back and brags that dragons are the most powerful creatures, and that all other animals, even dinosaurs, are weaker. Vermeil gives Alto another boost so he can show her she's wrong. Alto then builds a huge crystal structure. Alto and Vermeil use the construct to get to Chris and hold a crystal shiv to her throat, winning the fight. After his win, Alto becomes popular with the ladies, which makes Lilia jealous. Professor Obsidian warns him not to take duels lightly though. Chris does her own work and tells Rex she's sorry. Alto says that you should only kiss someone you love, so Vermeil tells him that she loves him. Concerned, he asks Obsidian about relationships between humans and demons. He tells him that demons only want humans for their mana. Alto talks to Vermeil, but she proves herself by kissing him without draining him. Emma Albaline, a student, falls for Obsidian, but he gives her a shot and freezes her in ice. She is saved, but left in a coma, and the student council says that Emma is the third student to be attacked. The class has to write papers about the people they know well. Alto measures Vermeil's body with reluctance. After giving Cheryl her clothes, Lilia uses the spell to make herself invisible so she can watch them. Alto accidentally brushes Lilia's nipple, making her happy. In his report, Alto writes that Vermeil likes sweets, but he adds Alto. In the meantime, Chris and her dragon were beaten up by a crazed Rex and his changed dinosaur. Then Vermeil meets Obsidian and tells him that she knows he is the one attacking students. She tells him to stop, but he injects her with something that hurts and makes her release dark energy. Everyone can feel this, and Elena runs to the scene, but she can't get there fast enough because Obsidian has called up a monster. As Alto runs to the scene, Vermeil changes into a monster he can't control, and Obsidian laughs about it. Elena fights Obsidian's monster, which heals itself after being hit. Obsidian brags that he was fighting people and giving them demon essence to turn them into demons, but now he has a real demon. Vermeil suddenly breaks the chain and charges Obsidian, but Alto blocks her and she gets on her claws. She strikes Obsidian again because she is angry, but Alto blocks her again and tells her not to kill before she falls over. Alto gets better when Vermeil goes back to normal. Obsidian goes crazy and says that demons aren't meant to get better. He then injects himself with this formula and turns into a horrible demon and promises to kill them all. Vermeil punches a hole through him with ease. He gets scared and tries to fly away, but Chris shoots him down, and Vermeil knocks him out. The creature that Elena was fighting runs away. Obsidian is taken into custody as his victims come out of their comas. Later, Vermeil tells Alto, with sadness, that she linked their life forces together to fix him. This means that if one of them dies, the other will die. Then Vermeil gets mean to Alto and tells her that her monster form is her real form, and he should stay away. Alto tells her that he doesn't care, and kisses her, which makes her nervous. Elena asks Alto to be part of the student council. Elena brings in a piece of the monster she fought. Looking at it, they find magic that they've never seen before. Later, Alto has a dream of a little girl named Vermeil trying in a city that has been destroyed. In the dream, a woman tells him that he can help people and bring salvation, or help Vermeil and destroy. He wakes up worrying about his test, so Vermeil kisses him to calm him down and then gives him a boost. Students take the test from all over the country. The professor shows them a crystal ball with a flame inside and tells them to pour their energy into it to make it stronger. A few students try but can't change the flame, so they fail. Lilia figures out that they're putting their magic into the crystal instead of the flame. She makes the flame big without much trouble. Cheryl and a student from another school duel also make the flame big, but Marks barely touches it and it still passes. Alto is last. He figures out that approaching the crystal from behind makes it easier to pour mana, but Vermeil tells him to show off, so he pours his mana from the hardest spot and makes the flame so big that it breaks the crystal. Alto gets to the test room in the written test, but Vermeil has to wait outside. Iolite comes in, sits beside Alto, and tells him to do well. Vermeil is bored and sits outside. She thinks about how Alto said he would protect her. Alto freaks out when Iolite falls asleep as soon as the test starts, but she keeps her mind on the test and does her best. After a while, Iolite wakes up and writes so fast that he finishes the test in seconds. He then makes fun of Alto for being slow. As the professor scolds him for talking, a guard tells him that the murdered student's body has been found. The professor then learns that Iolite is not a student. Iolite says he only took the test for fun, and then he calls up for a stone monster to crush the professor's legs. As everyone except Alto leaves, Vermeil and the teacher from the first test come in. When Lilia, Marks, and Cheryl don't want to leave the building, the guards drag them out. When they try to go back in, a space warp takes them back outside. All their attacks don't hurt the golem, and it grabs Vermeil. Alto gets so angry that he bursts with power and breaks the golem, but Iolite calls up more golems and spears Alto in the shoulder. Alto asks him what he wants, and he says that his group wants to use demons and destroy the world. Vermeil turns into a monster, but Iolite knocks her out quickly. He tries to kill Alto, but the book he used to call Vermeil protects him, and then the woman from his dream shows up. She says that she is a memory of the mage of the beginning, who sealed Vermeil. Iolite tries to attack, but Alto is sent into Vermeil's thoughts, and time stops. He returns in 550 years and sees a happy child version of Vermeil playing. The mage of the beginning says that Vermeil was raised by a nun with Miel, Lynn, and Kate, who were also orphans. Even though they knew she was evil, they didn't care. One day, the townspeople discovered that Vermeil was a devil. They thought she was to blame for a plague spreading across the country, so they formed an angry mob and besieged the church. Miel told Vermeil to get out of the town, and she was almost on her way when she heard people say they would kill her family. She ran back, but it was too late. Her family had already been put to death. As the crowd closed in on her, she lost her anger and turned into a monster for the first time. She killed everyone and burned the town down. Alto is shocked by what he saw, so the mage tells him that this is what she did wrong and why she was sealed. Alto finds that he can talk to Vermeil, which makes her feel better. She turns into the grown-up Vermeil and cries that she can't take back what she did. He tells her he doesn't care and kisses her. As soon as they come to, he tells her he loves her. Iolite calls up a huge golem and says that Vermeil's only goal is to destroy the world. They tell him to shut up and use their combined powers to kill the golem. Heliodor shows up and says that she can't keep the space warp going for much longer. She and Iolite then leave through a portal. Vermeil says that Fatima is the one who is the mage of the beginning. Fatima tells Alto that Vermeil is her best friend and asks him to care for her. She then fixes the building and leaves. Later, Jessica and Chris teach Alto defense and do martial arts so that he can be stronger and protect Vermeil. Sparring is hard for him because he needs more strength and experience, but he wants to get better. In bed, Vermeil tells him that she also loves him. Elena tells the student council they must work together to stop these threats, and everyone agrees. Lilia, Marks, and Cheryl got their test results, and they all passed. When Alto doesn't show up, Lilia thinks he is doing something with Vermeil, which makes her jealous. Yes, they are kissing in public. They are happy to be together and want to protect each other.